ghost town of Crystal Springs, North Dakota started in 1873 when the Northern Pacific Railroad built a station at the site. It took its name from nearby Crystal Springs lakes. A post office was established in 1884. Throughout its early years, Crystal Springs had a bank, 2 grain elevators, a depot, a grocery store, other mercantile stores, a hatchery, a couple of churches, a pool hall, and a barbershop. One of the few buildings that continues to stand today is the brick school built in 1916. It originally served grade school classes, but high school classes were added in 1920. School district authorities might have been overambitious as enrollment was never very high. In 1935, the high school classes were discontinued and the students were transported by bus to nearby Tappan. The town was already suffering when I-94 barreled through the middle of town in the late 1950s. Even though the superhighway provided an exit, people didn't stop. The post office closed its doors forever in 1993. Today, the Crystal Springs School is perched atop a hill visible from the interstate. Across from the school and down the hill is the old church. Only a handful of residents still live in the area. Interstate 94 passed Jamestown in 1956, and the Jamestown Area Chamber of Commerce decided they needed an invitation for travelers to stop in town. The project took about 6 months in 1959, cost $8,500, and claims to be the world's largest buffalo. He weighs 60 tons and 100,000 people visit him every year. Salem Sue is a giant fiberglass Holstein cow sculpture located in New Salem, North Dakota. Salem Sue was built in 1974 for $40,000 by donations from local farmers and residents and was sponsored by the New Salem Lions Club in honor of the local dairy farming industry. The cow, which is hollow, was constructed by Sculpture Manufacturing Company in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and then transported in 3 parts before being put together. The statue stands 38 feet high, is 50 feet long, and weighs about 12,000 pounds. The Enchanted Highway is a collection of the world's largest scrap metal sculptures constructed by Gary Greff at intervals along a 32-mile stretch of 2-lane highway in the southwestern part of North Dakota. Gary designed and built the sculptures to reflect the history and values of people living in North Dakota. When he began the Enchanted Highway project, Gary had never taken an art class or learned to weld. He simply believed that small towns were valuable and that he could create something that would make people from near and far want to visit his small hometown of Regent, North Dakota. Geese in Flight is the world's largest scrap metal sculpture as recorded in 2001 by the Guinness Book of World Records. The sculpture, which depicts a flock of geese soaring across the sky with rolling hills beneath it, took about 6 years to complete and required 5 cranes to lift it and put it into place, making it the most expensive sculpture for the artist to create. Lori and I really liked all the smaller geese lining both sides of the access road. Deer Crossing is a sculpture featuring a 70-foot-tall buck leaping over a fence with a 50-foot-tall doe beside it. Gary built the sculpture in his pasture but had to cut off an antler and leg when he could not get it through the maze of streetlights in Regent. He reattached them on site. Visitors can do their own maneuvering through a maze beside the sculpture. Pretend you are a deer on the run and see how quickly you can make your way through it. Gary says Grasshoppers in the Field is his most controversial sculpture, as many local farmers have a bone to pick with the insect, who occasionally causes damage to the crops and fields. But Gary says his sculpture is an ode to that struggle and remembers his own grandfather recounting a grasshopper infestation on his farm back in the 1930s. He says the grasshoppers were so thick they blackened the sky and ate every fence post and crop he had. Gary's grasshoppers are made of many interlocking pieces, and the largest stands at 60 feet long and 40 feet tall. The most intricate sculpture along the Enchanted Highway, Fisherman's Dream, features a 70-foot-long rainbow trout springing over the crest of a wave, while 35-foot-long northern, walleye, salmon, bluegill, catfish, and smallmouth bass swim below. Whether you're fishing at North Dakota's Grand Lake, Sakakawea, the mighty Missouri, or one of the many small lakes home to family fishing holes and hot spots, all the fish you see before you can be caught right here in North Dakota. Pheasants on the Prairie honors the popular activity of pheasant hunting in North Dakota. Gary created the 40-foot-tall rooster, 35-foot-tall hen, and 20-foot-tall chicks using bent oil well pipes for the skeletons and gravel screening metal mesh for the feathers. 2 of the chicks are depicted feeding, perhaps eating seeds, berries, or insects. The rooster and hen remain alert, ready to dart into the safety of shade, tall grasses, or thick cattails should they sense danger. While pheasants prefer to run, they can fly at speeds up to 50 miles per hour when frightened or chased. Teddy Rides Again is the 51-foot sculpture of the 26th President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, who said of North Dakota, "It was here that the romance of my life began." His silhouette is made of bent oil well pipe, and he rides a rearing horse off into the horizon. A wooden stagecoach pulled by 4 horses is set at the base of the sculpture, built by a group of volunteer carpenters who wanted to contribute to the Enchanted Highway project. Take a seat inside of it and imagine traveling across the state of North Dakota by stagecoach instead of by car. It wasn't that long ago. The world's largest tin family was the first sculpture created for the Enchanted Highway and the last stop before reaching Gary's hometown of Regent, North Dakota. The sculpture, which emphasizes the importance of family in the heritage and culture of the state, features a 45-foot-tall father, 43-foot-tall mother, and their 23-foot-tall son. You will notice the family scene is surrounded by a white picket fence. The family is crafted from fuel, oil well, and stock tanks, and Gary hopes that one day a daughter and pets will be added.